Hi there, this is Big V here. I'm at my computer right now, and I'm actually live at this time. So hold on, let me pull up the screen. This is Big V. It's January 22nd, Thursday evening. It's about 4:39 p.m. here in the Pacific Northwest. It's been a nice day today. All right, there we go. All right, all right. So we're going to move right along. Let me tweet my link out so other people can watch it. I'll be talking to you guys here in just a second. Thanks for your patience, guys. I haven't forgot about you. Just putting this out on social media so where everyone can hear it tonight. That's right. Everyone's going to get to hear this. So, it's amazing. Yesterday, I noticed on social media, one of the members made a comment to some of my posts, and they said the Neothink Society is a very mean society. That means they have some mean people in the society. I couldn't agree with her more with how rude some of these members are actually, how rude some of these members are actually being. So actually, this link is being posted in several different areas. So, all right, all right. For most of you, most of you probably already know that the lead call is staying on for the time being in the Neothink Society, and that's the call we're going to be joining here in just a few minutes. But they had 3 calls are going off the air as of starting this week. 3 calls are being cut off. A couple weeks ago, I said a lot of the calls are on the chopping block or going to be, and they are now. It's official. This past Monday night was the last Monday for the Prime Cure book. The people who got the Prime Cure book, Monday night was the last time that you were going to hear that call. Tuesday night, this past Tuesday, was the last night for the School of Genius Rise of Neotech call, which they didn't hardly cover anything in the Rise of Neotech. And tomorrow night, which is Friday night, Mark Hamilton, Family and You, that will be the very last Friday night call that they have on Mark Hamilton, Family and You. This, on Thursday night, this is the only call that's staying on the air at this time. Unless numbers drop or they see fit to cut it out, that's what they're going to do. I'm very excited I'm excited, one, because it's almost Saturday, and this Saturday morning I'll be on social media at 9:30 a.m. Sharing NeoThink material with the general public and sharing some information and sharing my views and playing some stuff that I may disagree with, but I let the general public know what I agree with and what I don't agree with. How about that? I'm a little concerned about the society as where it stands at right now. The mentor calls are definitely not the same. I'll be honest with you. Earlier today, I was listening to a Steve Fagan clip that I live streamed a bunch of his calls before he passed away. So I do have a lot of YouTube videos of Steve Fagan mentoring. So if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can find those mentoring calls that Steve Fagan did right before he passed away. And there's a good handful of them that you can record and keep it for yourself. Just to let you know, there are Steve Fagan videos that I live streamed his calls when he was alive. I live stream a good handful of them, and this is your opportunity to go back and listen to Steve Fagan himself mentor once again. So Steve Fagan doesn't have to be completely out of your life. I have right now on social media, I have cut out playing with Steve Fagan for a while. I'm playing other clips like the recent mentor calls that we're currently having right now will be played on my social media websites and for the general public to hear at a later date. Well, they're going to hear this information as well. So it's Thursday evening, and we're looking forward to this lovely evening and seeing what happens on this call. I'm expecting some announcements, but every time I say that, I'm always disappointed because they don't give the announcements I'm hoping to hear. So, all right. So we might have our government back open later, probably sometime tomorrow night. I'm hoping sometime tomorrow the federal government will open back up and people will get their pay tomorrow, sometime tomorrow, or at least get their pay over the weekend. So that's the hope. We'll see what happens tomorrow with that. I do have a Steve Fagan event myself on social media that I got scheduled later on this year. I'm actually going to share that information with you. I might even live stream that event so you guys on YouTube will get to see what I do on social media. How would you like me to do that for you guys? Live stream the event that I have scheduled with Steve Fagan. It's going to be Saturday, May 18th at 1 p.m. In fact, I'm possibly going to live stream this on YouTube so you, the viewers on YouTube, can hear what I do on social media. So, but I have an event that's going to happen. There's two prior events that you guys will not get to see, but The Steve Fagan event is Saturday, May 18th at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. It's a Steve Fagan event that I'm going to do live on social media, let alone I'm going to do it on YouTube as well. So you all are going to get to see it. How you like those apples? So it's on May 18th, Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. Now there are 2 other programs that I'm going to be hosting that day. One's at 8 a.m. called the Mini Show, and then the second show is at 9:30 a.m. and it's called the Prime Time Show. So I've entitled my programs, which my other viewers don't have no clue of as of yet. So that's all I'm going to share for right now. We got a lot of stuff going down on the social media event that I do. In fact, I'm going to show you the social media website that you can look me under if you would like to watch me on Saturday mornings at 9:30, like this upcoming Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. So let me pull up the page and I'll show it to you. That way you guys can mark it down and you guys can actually tune in to the event Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon or whatever time it is in your time zone. So let me find it here. All right, I'm going to show you the page. It's on Facebook, and I want you guys to really look at this really carefully because you can watch my program on social media on this website if you tune in this Saturday and every Saturday thereafter. You can tune in every Saturday morning, and you can also watch the Steve Fagan event as it takes place on this website. So here it is. All right, that's the website. It's on Facebook. There's a picture of me. It's under name Tony Smith. Look for that picture. All right, that is the web page that I do it on under Facebook, and I do it under live events. So you can actually watch it as I'm broadcasting my programs. So now you have a picture of what other website is getting to watch all these videos and hear all these calls. So every Saturday's different. So there you have it. All right, we're going to dial into the number of our Thursday evening call called the lead call. It's basically dealing with Frank R. Wallace material. Hold on just a second.
Share better. Please enter your access code followed by the pound or hash sign.
All right, you're going to hear some interaction for the next 10 minutes or so. So I hope you enjoy. And here we go. Enjoy the lead call. Thursday night, January 22nd of 2019. Here we go.
How are you, sir? It's so cold. Join the club. Hi, Julia in Chicago. Hi, Julia.
Hi, Juanita. Charlie is in California.
Hi, John. Welcome.
Hi. How's the weather?
Hi, Anita. Hi, Anita. Are you our Anita from
Yes.
Charlie and you are?
Well, Charlie's not Juanita, I am.
But that's okay. But are you working together again? We are going to be happy.
Oh, yes, you're going to see us working together tonight.
Super, Anita. Anita, welcome aboard, honey.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
This is Yaguda from New York.
Yes, Agnes. Nice to hear you.
Adela from New York.
Hello, New York. Welcome.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Karen from
Hey,
Arkansas.
good. Killeen, Texas.
Hey, Karen from Arkansas. Hey, hi, Julia.
Hello there.
Wow.
Hello, Arkansas.
I'm hearing all the places I'd love to find out about.
All over the United States.
Yes, fantastic.
Hello, everybody. It's Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Charlie.
Charlie, down in Zephyr Hills, Florida. Hello, Florida. Hey.
Florida.
Hi, Charlie. Hi, Juanita. This is Andrea.
Hello,
Hello,
Andrew.
Andrea.
Hi, Andrea. Hi, Andrea.
Greetings, Charlie. This is Gloria.
Hello, Gloria.
Hi, Gloria.
How are you? Good night.
Doing good.
Hello, Charlie. This is Terry in Zephyr Hills, Florida.
Hello, how's Terry? Hey, Terry, how are you? Good. Terry, Hey,
This is
Fred.
Labertus from Virginia.
Lavertis, how are you?
Hello, Virginia.
My name is Don Delay.
Hi, Charlie. It's Kay.
Okay.
Hi, Kay. Hi, Kay. Hi, Kay.
Hey.
Hi, Kay.
Hi, Kay. Welcome.
Hello, Kay. Thank you. Thank you.
My name is
Who is this Terry?
My name is Don.
My goodness.
This must be pretty important around here. I don't know.
Yes.
Who is this bus lady? Who's this rock star?
Charlie.
See it?
Keith, Michigan. Hey, Keith.
Hey, Pete.
I'm new here.
Welcome. Hi.
Hi.
Hey,
Good.
Charlie and Juanita. It's Dawn
Hello.
in North Carolina. Welcome to
How are
the
you?
show, Juanita. Fine, thank you.
Greetings, Charlie. This is William from Kentucky.
Hey, William, how are you?
Hi, William.
Hello,
This is Ray from Buckport, California. How are you, Charlie?
I'm doing good, man.
Am I getting through? California.
Thank you.
Am I getting through to you? Don Donald Glade from Pennsylvania.
Hello.
Hello, Pennsylvania.
Hi, Charlie. Mary from Mississippi.
Hello, Mary. All right. How you doing,
Mary.
Mary? Okay.
Hello, Jerry Sherrill, North Carolina.
I have a question.
Hello,
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Hello. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I've been better, but I'm good now.
Did you get mine? Did you get mine from Pennsylvania?
Andrea, you on?
Yes. Hello, welcome.
Okay.
We're in Pennsylvania.
I have a question.
Oh, my goodness.
I have a quick question. How do they know who is calling in every week?
Charlie, you want to explain that?
I'm going to tell it to
What was the question?
Do
He
they go
wants
by
to know
the
how,
ID
how,
number?
how they know he's calling in every week. How do we know? How do you know, Charlie?
By the
You don't know who's from
ID
week.
number.
You know people well, you know. This call's every Thursday. Is this your first time on the call?
no, I've called once before, but you were busy talking about your friend that died. You know, so I missed the other day then. You know, so
This call's every.
I am gonna start calling every Thursday now.
Yeah, this call's every week. It's been every Thursday for the last 4 years.
Okay, yeah, on Monday I'm gonna be calling.
About 4 years.
On
Good evening, Charlie, Juanita. It's Rick in Louisiana.
Hey,
Hello,
Rick.
Rick. Welcome.
Victoria in California.
Hi.
Hi, Victoria.
California.
What?
Hello, Charlie.
Charlie, and everybody else. Charles Maxwell from Michigan.
Hello, Michigan. Hello, Alabama.
Hello, Michigan.
Arizona. Hi, bro.
Terry from Florida.
Hello, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well.
Hello. Alma from Texas.
Hello, Alma.
Just in ATL.
Hello, how are you?
Welcome.
Hello, good, thank you.
Thank you, New York.
Hello, New York.
Hello, New York.
We're gonna talk about,
Hello, neighbor.
Who's your neighbor? Tim from Kansas. Hello.
Hello, Kansas.
Echo from Massachusetts.
Hello,
Hello, Massachusetts.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Beverly Warner from Washington State.
Hello, Ryan.
are we gonna talk about Frank Wallace this week?
That's the Robert. Hello.
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 Hello. Hello.
I'm Mom Brenda.
Hey, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda. Welcome.
Hey, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
Judy Porter from Atlanta, South Carolina. How's everybody doing?
Welcome.
Great. Hi, Mr. Charlie Moore. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
That's good.
I'm Durwood, North Carolina.
Hey, there you go.
North Carolina.
The recording has started.
Okay. Hello. Hey, I am new coming on. This is my first time.
And your name?
Mine also.
Welcome.
My name is James Hodgson. And that's
James,
last
how
name
are
is
you?
spelled very good.
Good, it's good to have you on the call.
Second time on.
Okay.
And what's your
Let
name?
me give you the spelling.
Victoria,
My name.
Victoria. Welcome.
thank you. Welcome.
Hey, Jody.
I'm,
Hello. Michigan.
hi.
Hello.
I'm a new guy.
Welcome.
Hello.
Michigan.
Dwight Anderson from South Dakota.
Hi, Dwight.
Oh,
Welcome.
it's nice to have you on board, thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, this is Mark LaRock.
New Mexico.
Hello, New Mexico. Hello.
Hello. My name's Durwood Began, and I'm in North Carolina, and this is my first time on.
All right, well, welcome.
Welcome.
Hi, this is Mark LaRock. I'm in Epworth, Georgia.
Hello,
It's
Mark.
also my first time.
Welcome.
Wow.
Well, we got a lot of newcomers. This is exciting.
And I'm Curtis Beek, and this is my first time.
Oh, hello, Curtis. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Dancy,
Hey.
Pennsylvania.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is James Reed.
Hello, this is Bella from Minnesota.
Hello.
Minnesota, welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, this is
Irene from New Jersey.
Hello, Irene.
welcome.
You do.
This is Carrie from California.
Hello,
Hi,
sir.
Carrie.
Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
Carrie.
Hello.
Robert from California.
Hey, Robert.
Hey, Robert.
My California people today.
Leonard from Pontana.
Anyone else want to say hello? Hi, Sheldon from Georgia. Hello.
Hello,
Only got
Georgia.
a few
Welcome.
seconds.
Joanne from Alaska.
Hey,
Hello,
Joanne.
Joanne. Welcome.
Joanne. Ready, Juanita?
Okay,
Hi, guys. Hi, Juanita and Charlie.
Hi, Lorna.
It's Lorna. Hi. Glad I caught you.
Q&A session has started. To ask your question, please press *6.
Charlie.
Hello, everybody. This is Charlie Moore. I'm here with Juanita Heckel. We are the mentors for this call tonight, the Frank R. Wallace call. I'd like to welcome all the new people here. Now, you have to know this, though. Once you're calling here, you can't stop calling. You got to call every week, no matter what. This is just to wake you up a little bit. I hope you enjoy this call tonight. You know, it's a great honor for both of us to be doing the Frank R. Wallace writings. It's still, you know, I've been helping Steve with this call up until, you know, obviously a month ago or so. But this was the first extra call. I think this was the first one I came on after the active membership. But this has the highest recording number, which is 248 tonight. So it's been almost 5 years that we have been doing this call. It's always been, I think, the highest call of the week as far as the numbers are concerned. It still is today. But I think people really enjoy Frank R. Wallace writing. So anyway, we got a busy schedule tonight as usual. Let me just go through some of the maintenance calls we got to do here. As you know, a lot of calls are going away this week. So we are finished with the Monday night call, the Mark Hamilton call, the Tuesday night call, which was absolutely wonderful by Judith, who gave this great presentation. That was the School of Genius and the Rise of Neotech call. That's all finished. And tomorrow night, the call of Mark Hamilton and family and you, tomorrow night will be the last call for that one, or the last night for that call. And then the calls that are staying is Elaine's call on Sunday afternoon, you know, the Living Artist call, the Prime Cure call on Sunday night at 9 o'clock is still on every week, and this call will stay on. So this call is going nowhere. And sometime in the near future, we're not sure yet, I might have a better feel on this by the time we do this call next week, when this new webinar call will go into effect. We are having our first rehearsal in a while next Wednesday, so hopefully we'll have a better idea then of when they're going to do a mailing. So hopefully we'll have some new news on that next week, possibly. But tonight we have a great call lined up. I want to talk about the Reach Out program. I've got a lot of calls on it the last couple of days. People are getting excited about this new Reach Out list. I started this program a couple of years ago. We ended up with 570 people on it, give or take a few. It was a very successful program, but it's hard keeping up with what names were still good on that and what names weren't, because it got so big, which is great. And I did learn a lot, so I really wanted to start another list, because at times people joining this list, and yet they were calling people and they weren't getting called back, or they weren't there. I don't want you to waste your time like that, you know, and get discouraged. So I started a new list a couple of weeks ago. I did get an early one mailed this week, but I will send out one again next week. I have close to 100 people on it already. And this is basically, I started this because we should communicate with each other. We should make connections with each other. It helps you to get more integrated by talking to integrated people. This list is not for people to gossip. We have enough of that out in this AC world. This is different. This is neo-thinkers talking to neo-thinkers. It really does help for you to make connections, and you can call somebody, you can develop friendships through this. I have a list of about 10 people here that I can call my dearest friends, and I know I can call them up for anything, and that they would be there for me. I never had that before I came to NeoThink, but I have that now. So the reach out list is important. Plus, Brenda Reinhardt and myself are going to be doing like a newsletter, something like that, and that should be out maybe next week, but probably the following week, I think. If anybody wants to contribute to this, in other words, write a short presentation, or, you know, a couple hundred words or less on a certain topic, or if any events are coming up, like the one we have like on March 30th, that's going to be posted every week. Things like, yeah, we are going to have a Gmail that you can send ideas to, or articles that you want posted in this. Because we don't have the news and updates call anymore, so this is going to be like replacing that, so we know what's going on. So it's another reason to be on this reach out list, because the only people who will get this is people on this reach out list. If there's enough changes each week, we'll send that list out every week. If not, we'll send it out maybe like bi-monthly or something. Basically, we're just going to feel it out as we go on. And then I have a couple other ideas about maybe how we can use this list also, but I'm going to hold off on that for a while. So it's more than just reaching out to people. It's also, we'll give people a chance to get the name out there and write something about either Frank R. Wallace or Mark Hamilton or what New York Think has done for you. Something like that. Any events coming up that, whatever's happening, let's get it in this newsletter. So if you want to get on this list, even if you're on the old one, I need a notice from you that you want to be on this one. So just send me an email and send it to C Moore, C as in Charlie, Moore, M-O-O-R-E, options, O-P-T-I-O-N-S, C Moore options, 68 at Gmail. One more time, C Moore options, 68 at gmail.com. Just send that to me. I'll get you on the list. I will get another one out early next week, Monday or Tuesday, hopefully. And start calling people. People can call you and you can call them. So if they're in your state, that's great. If they're not, then call the people. It doesn't matter. It's just about connections. And then obviously, if you are starting to meet people that way, put that, maybe just write a short note and we can put it in like the newsletter that this program is really good. I've used it a couple of times and now I have people that I can talk to every week, whatever. It always helps to show people, it's that connections. We've got to start reaching out to people here. And the more that you dive into NeoThink, the faster that this process goes for you, that you can get to where you want to go. And I'll stop it there for now. So again, just get those emails in the mail. And Kay, if you could hit star, hold on for a minute. Ken, let me change this around here. Oh, I have it on Q in it. Okay. Star 6, Kay. It has an announcement. There she is. All right, Kay, go ahead.
Yes. I want to make an announcement. For me, it's a very sad announcement. The alternate Tuesday morning call for what we've been referring to as the seniors is not going to be taking place. And it's one of the calls that's being shut down. And it was a call that I know that we all enjoyed very, very much. But I do want you to know that it is being discontinued. Maybe sometime in the future we'll find a way to revive it. But at the moment, there will not be a seniors call. And that will be this coming Tuesday at 11 o'clock. And thank you, Charlie, for letting me make that announcement.
Thank you, Kay. All right. Now I'm not sure if Sage Kadakura or Larry Johnson, if you're here, hit star 6. I want to talk about, we are having an event at the end of March on March 30th, and it's going to be a celebration workshop in honor of Steve Fagan. I think it's important for a lot of people to come to this to maybe as a closure for Steve, or but it's going to be, it's a chance for all of us to get together, which doesn't happen much. We had something every September, and that's usually been the only thing. So we are having this. It's going to be on March 30th at the Marriott at the Newark Airport in New Jersey. So if you want to fly in, you can. You don't need to rent a car. All you got to do is just hop on the shuttle, and it's going to take you right to the hotel, which is right down the street. A lot of people are flying in. A lot of people are driving in. But we this is going to be something different, Chris. We're setting up a foundation here in Steve's honor. It's important. He was so excited about meeting his grandson. So part of this money will go towards the education of that child, and then we also want to do that in the future too for more of the New York Think people also. As part of it, we are going to put some of this money towards his charity, which is St. Jude's, that he always gave to that. For the event, it's $100. That's all. That's all we're charging for this. And a third of that will go towards this foundation. And we're still finding out how to set this up. But we are, basically, I think every event that we have from now on, no matter which event it is, money's going to go to this foundation. If you want to just give money to the foundation, just call us up and let us know, but you can't attend. But if you want to give some money towards it, that's absolutely fantastic. You're more than welcome to do that. But as I said, it's on March 30th. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and goes to 5. It's at, the hotel address is 1 Hotel Road, and it's in Newark, New Jersey, 1 Hotel Road. It's right at the airport. If you have any questions, just call us up at 800-997-7970. Again, that's 1-800-997-7970. If you have any questions, we will get back to you the same day. The afternoon, I think the morning, we don't have the agenda set yet, or we have it, but we just haven't detailed it yet. But I think it's going to be something like, in the morning, obviously we're going to have some, almost anybody who is there, if you have a story about Steve or how you met him or what he has meant to you over the years, you will be more than welcome to come up and talk about that. This is not going to be a sobbing thing. This is going to be a celebration of his life. And then, when we're all done, then the rest of the day, it is a workshop. And when we do workshops. That's when we're going to just roll up our sleeves. And Steve lived a Neothink life. And I want to really talk about that. What is a Neothink life? And how do we get that Neothink life? And what has to be done? And what are you doing today? And it's going to be there's not going to be a lot of presentations here. This is a workshop. It's going to be very open-aired. People will be talking all day long. We like those types of workshops where we can just talk back and forth in conversation. So it's going to be very detailed, but yet it's going to be very open to everybody. I think it's important for us to start living these lives that we want to talk about, and the lives that we can have through all of this information. Why aren't we living them more? And so it's going to help you. It's going to help us. It's a great day. Whenever we have these plus, I get so excited about this because I get to see a lot of old faces that I haven't seen since the last year, or I get to meet a lot of new people. And I can remember almost every person that I met at one of these events. I can remember that was the first time I ever met them. So you also have that going for you. I can remember the first time I met, I don't know how many hundreds of people was at this hotel in the last 4 years. It's absolutely incredible. And you don't forget things like that. And I remember the people who miss a year because I'm just so used to seeing them at these events. We probably will have another one in September, but I think this one's kind of special because we're going to start this whole thing about Steve and this foundation. He meant so much to most of us here. I wouldn't be on this phone today if it wasn't for Steve Fagan. And I think a lot of us wouldn't be on this phone today if it wasn't for Steve. So he did it. He affected many, many lives. So let's honor him on that day. It's going to be a great day. We don't have the price on the rooms yet, but the rooms last year, we always get this serious discount from the Marriott, and I think last year the room was about $110 or $115 or something, which is absolutely incredible, being just right across the bay from New York City, and we're spending only $110 a night. We'll have, I think we're going to have like a box lunch for lunch, which we did last year, like $20. That was all. I think it's only $100, and we do have. If you want to share a room with somebody and save some expense on the rooms, because most people will be coming in either Thursday or Friday, if they're too far to drive, and some are staying for the weekends, so they can shoot over to New York on Sunday, or they just hang around the hotel and talk to other Neothinkers. Like I'll probably be there early on Friday. I'm probably not going to leave till sometime Sunday. So it's just a great way to spend a weekend in the civilization of the universe. It really does matter. When you get a room of neo-thinkers, I don't care if it's 5 people or 50 people or 500 people, whatever it is, the energy level is unbelievable. You'll feel it as soon as you walk in the room because everyone there is anxious to see you, is anxious to meet you if they haven't met you. It's a love fest. It really, you can feel it in the air there. There's no prejudices there. There's none of that AC stuff. People are there with an open mind. You can say basically anything you want to say in these meetings, and everyone accepts it. They might not agree with it, but they accept it because you have a right to speak your mind. And that's what NeoThink's all about. Because it's nice to finally be able for us to speak our mind. Because before we came to NeoThink, we didn't speak our mind that much out there, did we? Because people thought we were like the strangest people who were walking on the planet because they didn't think that, they didn't think like we did. So that made us the oddballs and the misfits. Well, you know what? I'm glad I'm an oddball. I'm glad I'm a misfit. Because it got me this far. Because I didn't fit into that AC world. So it's nice to sit around and meet people and talk with people for a whole weekend. And we have this bond already. We are neo-thinkers. We were searching and seeking, and I never thought I would meet anybody who thought like I did until this first letter came to me 10.5 years ago. Now I'm meeting people all the time because I talk to all of you on the phone. At least one point, I have almost 100 people on the reach out. How do I talk to all those people? And then when we're doing an event, I'm talking to everybody. I talk to people. I do the escalating program for Mark Hamilton, and I'm talking to people every day. I get to spend my day staying in the sea of you, talking to people in NeoThink. It's a privilege to do that. And then I get to do these calls at night, and then I get to be a life coach for some of these people during the day. It's absolutely a great way to live because I'm speaking to people who want to move forward in their life. That's an honor to me to talk to you every day. So that's what these events are for. So again, man, if you can make it, make it. Don't be afraid of it. Come and enjoy it. You will sit there and be joyed by it. If you want to pay for the ticket now, you can. And I'm just trying to. I don't have that in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it's. If you just go on and put Steve Fagan Workshop. Wait a minute, I got it right here. Steve Fagan Workshop .eventbrite.com. Steve Fagan, Fagan, Workshop .eventbrite, and that's spelled EVENTBRITE.com. So you can go there and pay for the ticket right there. You will get a ticket stub back, and you're in. But if you have any questions, call me up at that 800 number, and I'll stop there. Juanita, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, Charlie, that was you had a lot of information to give out there. I was thinking that Sage was going to come on, but maybe he's not here yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, I did want to go over that reach out program in a little more detail, if I may. Since these calls are going away, and we have the Prime Cure call on Sunday night, which is a 2,800-page compilation of all Mark Hamilton's work, and then we have this call, which is a 2,900-page of Frank R. Wallace's work. These are two important calls, and this is something we all need to really dig into and study, because with the Reach Out program, you can actually become that mentor you're meant to be by helping another member. And when I'm going to get a hold of Charlie about this, I'm thinking that I need to put my time down there to incorporate my mini day with it. So when I do get calls, they know they're going to be able to reach me. And this is a way that we can really stay with our NeoThink literature and help each member out. And like Charlie said, it's not a place to do gossip. If you really have something that you want to have a breakthrough or something, this is a really important program, and we can build it. We can build this foundation and make it stronger than it's ever been. Because yes, it's nice to have all the names, but right now you're on this call, I'm on this call, Charlie's on this call, because we are at a level that we are able to absorb this material and put it to use out there in this world and make the world a better place for all of us. And if we can reach out with each other and focus on what really is vital for us to get to biological immortality, for us to get to the Sea of You where we belong. We don't belong here on this AC third dimension planet. So this is a very good program. I know Digger, he just truly embraced this program, Charlie, and I really value it, and I know it's going to really escalate. So I just wanted to add that about the program.
No problem. And I will add something else too. It's all about you. When I was telling people, like, I always remember most of the people that I met here, I met at one of these, workshops or whatever, But I can remember the first summit we did, and I was in a room where some of the vendor tables was, and I was talking to one of the vendors. And up until that point, I knew Juanita, but I never met her. And, we had known each other like a couple of years before that at least. So she walked by and I heard her voice, and I said to the person I was talking to, "Excuse me for just a minute." And I walked out in the hall, and I said, "Where's Juanita?" And that was the person that we actually met. Do you remember that?
I do, Charlie.
It was your voice that attracted me to, hey, that's Juanita. Where is she? Where are you, Juanita? That's the stuff that you don't forget about. Because when you go to these, when you're on these calls for a while, you start to recognize people's voices right away, although you never met them. So you could be standing in the lobby of the Marriott Hotel in New Jersey, and you'll hear somebody walk by you, and you hear that voice and say, "That's Juanita from Las Vegas," or "That's Charlie from New York," or "This is this person from there." And, a whole bunch of times I walked by and said, "Joe," and I'm Charlie Moore. "Oh, yeah, it's the voice." So it's a cool way to meet people by hearing their voice. It really is. And
it was a very special day, Charlie, because I had to jump planes to get there, and I went with Sharon, and she lost her shoe in the escalator. The escalator ate her shoe. So then I had to get her in a wheelchair, and I had to wheel her in. But we hopped planes all night long. We were up all night, and I said, "Oh, we're late," because I got the wrong flights. And she said, I'll never forget what she said to me. She said, "We're there. You're here just when you're supposed to be here." And then Charlie, he put me up on stage with Dave. I'll never forget that. He didn't give me time to even be nervous. But when you're at one of these events, it is so special because the love and you can feel it. The whole room is vibrating with love because we have something special here with our coming together, our like minds, and we really do help each other build their life better. And I was just so I was on cloud nine for months and months after that first time, Charlie. I really was. I know Sue was there, and I met so many there. And Bob was at the front door, and then Charlie put me at the front door many times. So.
Yeah, and you'll be at the front door on March 3rd.
Yeah. I'm sure you've I know. That's what I'm waiting to hear from Sage. I'm sure I got another task ahead of me.
Oh, I would imagine so, yeah.
Yes.
Is there anything else I missed here? I don't think so. People,
I don't know.
Now I'm going to sound like Digger. This is part of the call. It really is. We have been in this call since we, as soon as you got on the call, but even though we had to cover some other things here, this is all part of the call. It's all part about NeoThink. And but now I think we're ready to go into what we're going to cover tonight. And this is, I don't know if this part's ever been covered before. It's in the Prime Discovery. It's on page 327, and it's NeoThink Power, and it's linking instructions. All right, and this is written by a NeoTech reader. It's not written by Frank R. Wallace or Mark Hamilton. But basically, he's talking about how to put NeoThink 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and have them interlock, connecting the pieces, putting the puzzle pieces together. And it's going to take us more than one night to cover all this. But I thought it was I read it and I'm saying, boy, I don't think we've ever covered this before. We might have, but I don't remember. But we always talk about basically every page of every book, no matter if it's Mark Hamilton or Frank R. Wallace, connect. Everything has a connection here. And when you start putting all these puzzle pieces together, now you're putting the whole NeoThink puzzle together. And we have to get all those pieces in for us to really be that God-man, to be that conscious person, to be a Zion. All these words that we use all the time, to find ourselves, to find our essence, because we are putting puzzle pieces together. That's what integrations are. That's what NeoThink and NeoTech's all about, is putting the picture puzzles together. One of the things that I've always said about, one of the reasons why I answered that first letter was Mark Hamilton said that I could predict my future. And that just, I always wanted to do that and never could. And I said, if that's the only thing I learned out of this, it's well worth the price. And that's why I got involved. And when you put all these puzzle pieces together, when you think in pictures, when you conceptually can see yourself doing something and see yourself living the life that you want to live, and you do that every day, it'll happen. It'll happen. So that's all part of the puzzle building here. This is like one big jigsaw puzzle, and all the pieces are all over the table. Now we've got to put them together. And he starts off on this, he said that he didn't realize the magnitude of the NeoTech discovery and all the personal benefits it could deliver until he was done reading the entire volume. After he read the first volume, he was thinking about what it had in there, and then he had this feeling sweep over him that he was embarking on a journey from which he would never return. And that's what this is. This is the journey that we have to take and make. And as soon as you start to realize that you're on this journey and you got your first breakthrough, you know now that your life will never be the same again. You will never go back to that bicameral-minded AC person. When you realize what information you have in your hand with these books. And he said, he went back and he read the whole thing again, and he just sat there and he said he was stunned. And I don't know how many times I've been stunned by this information. And it still happens today at times. It's amazing. But we do have the most powerful information on earth. I believe that from the first day I picked up these books. I have not found anything even close to this. That's why I knew right away when I was reading, The Inside Secrets was the first book I got back then. And when Mark Hamilton started to talk about the mini-day schedule, and he's telling us in detail how to do it. And that detail, in the first 20 minutes that I was reading, I got up and I danced because I knew that this was it. This was literally the information that I wanted. I wanted somebody to take me by the hand and guide me through this, exactly how to do it. All the books I bought prior to, all the feel-good books, all the positive thinking books, and all the seminars I went to, and all that money I spent. And after a day or two, you realize this is just another piece of crap. They're not telling, these guys are making money off their books, but yet have they made money on their ideas? Probably not. Mark Hamilton, Frank R. Wallace tell you exactly, they leave the instructions. This is just a one big roadmap. You follow it. It's a GPS system. At the end of the road is your life, the life that you always wanted. But how do I get there? It's all here for you. Because you'll start to discover a whole new world in which power flows as near-think melted the grip of external authority, okay? Like all the near-cheaters out there. It's amazing how you start to change, and sometimes you don't even realize how you are changing. And that's a big mistake here. Most of our life, when we move forward, we do it in baby steps. And once in a while, we might have a big breakthrough, and we take 5 big steps or something. But overall, it's a daily movement of just baby steps. And maybe it's just one a day for a while. That's okay. It's still moving forward. And sometimes we don't realize some of the changes, some of these little changes that we're making. But those little changes add up to big changes. So any time that you realize, like at night when you go to bed and you take an inventory of the day and you ask yourself, wait, was this a good day today? And you start saying, yeah, I think it was because of this and this and this. Take an inventory of what you did that day. And you'll realize, ooh, I didn't realize that I did that. I did do that. That's a change. That's an improvement. That's a baby step forward. Celebrate it. Be happy about it. Hug it. Get it into your system. And celebrate it. That's when you know that because you want to know each day, did you make any improvements today? Well, if you don't take that inventory, and they'll tell you how to do that here. It's always about looking inside. Looking inside, that's what we know about Neothink and Neotech. Looking inside. Everything starts with us. Nothing starts outside of us. But that's the world that we're coming from. We were waiting to hear what the authorities are telling us so that we can go do that. And they know what's best for us. And we just followed and followed. But there was something about us. It was something about all these people that are here now saying, something's not right here. We shouldn't just be blindly just following these people. Why would we want to follow these people? Look at the world today. This is where it got us. So now they're telling us how to do this. So that's what this guy's doing here. He's basically he's linking all of these instructions that each word is telling us, and he's putting this all together. But we were unprepared for this journey when we first started taking it, because we have no idea what we're getting into. There's a lot of new people on this call tonight. So I'm sure that you haven't been around all that much. And nobody, I know Juanita, you probably feel the same way. When I came here, I was looking to fix me. I had no idea where this was taking me. We had no idea at the time that this would take us to where it has taken us. I had no idea over 10 years ago that I would be here like the senior mentor of the whole society now, that I'd be on all these calls. I didn't picture any of this. I didn't picture that people were flying from all over the country to see us do a summit or a workshop because I was there. I didn't predict any of that. I was so unprepared for all of this. But that's what this information can do for you. It gets you out of your comfort zone, I tell you. It makes you feel uncomfortable. And you got to feel uncomfortable every day or you're not growing. So this whole thing that we're going to go through here, we're just going to take our time with this because it really is telling us how to put these pieces of the puzzle together. So he was shocked and basically unprepared for what this was going to teach him and how he was going to feel. He was also shocked, he says, on discovering how easily many of the most widely accepted beliefs collapsed into nothing in the light of Neotech. Think about that statement for a minute. Just look at the headlines every day, all right? Usually it's politics, correct? I mean, I think 95% of the news is politics. That's a disgrace. That's what it is. And just think about how many, what the big news of the day is, what the big story of the day is a bunch of nothing. It's just a bunch of nothing. Because it's all lies. It's not based on anything solid. It's not based on science, because they threw science out the window. It's not based on logic, because nobody knows what logic is anymore. Nobody knows what common sense is. Nobody's rational. So it's based on nothing. Neotech teaches you that, how to see through those illusions. And he's going to tell us in here how he connected those pieces together. All this is a job of putting pieces of the puzzle together. So then he goes into part A and he says that he is preparing for, he has to prepare for this. So, and we have been telling, Steve and I for years have been telling us, basically how to prepare to read these books before we sit down and actually start to read them. Because he was asking questions like, what has kept Neotech from being discovered earlier? I've been here for 10.5 years. We're not out there yet. We are faced with the war. We've been faced with the war for a little over, for 11 years. No, 9 years. And we're not a household name. But we know the scope of what this is. And but what about the other people being newly exposed to Neotech? So basically, that's the job of like me and Juanita for tonight, and me and Karen on Sunday night, and the other mentors that are still on the active membership calls. It's our job to bring this to you, to help you understand this. And I know Juanita feels the same as I do. She, we are big believers in all of these writings. And we want to look at this not the same way every time. We're not going to read from these books that much. That's your call. But we're going to take what's on these pages and put them into light so that you can start taking action with them. And that's the whole key here. And we said that knowledge is power, but knowledge isn't power if you don't use the knowledge. We have some people here who know almost every page of these books. They have the knowledge, but they have never used it. And that's sad in a way, because they have all this knowledge, but yet they're not using it. But if you take someone like Steve Fagan, he took action with this. And look what he did with his life. So the first part that he goes in, first of all, let me stop here. Anything that you were...
Well, you covered quite a bit, Charlie. I wanted to, share with, we have some new members to this call. I don't know if they're new members, but I do want to say that with all of us together, this is a very powerful energy. I can really feel it because we have some powerful minds here. And Charlie, you're right about it. Digger, he put it in action. He lived it. And we can read it all day and all night. I know this is how I approach it. Even today, I have a couple businesses, and sometimes they go into, they have I have to balance out my mini day, because sometimes some need more attention than the other one. And sometimes some, you have to know when to cut your losses and move on. Well, anytime that I have a situation and I go in to do my mini day reading and I pull out something, it just all of a sudden it clicks. I have that discipline, I have that thought, I have that control. I have all of those tools that are going to get me through it. Not to say, I'm not a Rockefeller or any of that, but I am a business person, and I have to rely on what how I give value and profit and do my business honest. And that's what I get from Dr. Frank R. Wallace. He was really a fully integrated, honest individual, and he believed in standing up for what he knew was right. And when I walk out my door, I'm going to tell you, I have my chin up because I know I have the tools that I can face the world with, and I can outflank them every time. And this is what we have to really embrace this readings that we're doing and then take action with it, because to be that self-leader and to go out there, and that's why we're not a household name yet, but we are put together so well. I want to put the word well right now, Charlie, because when I think about it, what was I before Neothink? I was scattered. My mind was scattered. I didn't, I was giving my powers away to external authorities. I was in fear all the time. I wasn't in control. So with this readings, we all get to have that discipline, that thought, that control, that quiet power that Dr. Frank R. Wallace lived by, that Digger lived by, and we can move forward with each other. If we can bring our minds together and really build a foundation together, Neothink will it will, like Mark Hamilton's vision, it will just explode out throughout the planet. People want to do honest business. I know that every time that I give a good value in my day and I come home, I sleep better. I can sleep at night. And right now, we're not as household name like Charlie says, but we're the rarefied, like Mark Hamilton puts it. And he put us together for a reason. And I think we need to build our foundation stronger now and move it forward. And I just really enjoyed this read today I had, because it actually did help me pull out a business situation that I was in that I had to find a solution to. So anyway, Charlie, I wanted to add that right now.
Thank you, Juanita. Makes sense to me. But we don't have all that much time. We got about 10 minutes here. I do want to. He has linking the Neotech volumes 1 and 2, and I want to cover this a little bit tonight, because he talks about, Frank R. Wallace's, the poker book. And everybody thinks that's about poker. And yeah, technically it is about poker. And even if you don't understand poker, even if you hated poker, even if you don't like playing cards, that information there, you talk about putting pieces of the puzzle together. That's about life. That poker book. It's about reading people. It's about finding out who the near cheaters are, and it's about so many different things in real life. So if you always thought that the poker book was just about poker, you haven't put the pieces of the puzzle together. And that's, to me, that's one of the key parts there. It's basically when I know, like at the one part, he says, when I play poker, a good player doesn't look at those cards that are face down. He just peeks at them, he knows what he has, because his eyes want to be on everybody else. He wants to read their faces and the movements that they make, and the way that they act when they have a winning hand, and the way that they act when they have a losing hand. When you start reading people like that, you can get a good vibe, whether they're good, bad, indifferent. I've always had that knack in my whole life. Even before I came here, I could tell almost right away with most people, just the energy that's coming out of them. But I picked up a lot of that. I mean, believe me, I was in sales for 30 years, and I was taught by some great sales managers, but the first manager I ever had was the best ever. And he says, I'm going to tell you right now, you don't try and sell this product. All you got to do in your life, if you're going to stay in sales, is sell yourself. And read people, and understand people, and listen to people. And I use a lot of the things that he talks about in that poker book. I used in real life when I was selling in-house. I would drive, some weeks I was in a whole different state for a whole week. And I was to like 3 houses a day I would go to, and I was selling a franchise, which was a long presentation. And I better know what I'm talking about, because I had this big book in front of me. And it was facing them, so I had to know how to read it upside down, first of all. But then I got to the point where I just knew what page I was on. I didn't have to look at the book. I wasn't looking at the book for one reason. I wanted to see their faces. Because if I was reading this upside down, I'm not looking at their faces, and they could be making signals to each other. I don't know. I wanted to see what their reactions are. And then we had a point up front where it was just like the warm up, and I would talk to people, and it had nothing to do with what I was about to show them, but I wanted them to understand that I'm going to listen. Like if I would ask the husband, what do you do for a living? And he would say, well, I'm a carpenter. Oh, man, that's great. I said, and I meant this when I said I was raised in a blue-collar family, but I had nothing to do with talent in my hands. If I had to make a living off my hands, I would have starved to death. And that's why I would tell these people, I say, see, I have to wear this tie to make a living, because I couldn't. I said, I envy that you can do that with your hands. But then I would ask him, how did he get into it? How long he's been doing it? Does he still enjoy it? I would ask him all these questions. And not many people, like when somebody else asks him a question, what do you do for a living? And he would say, carpenter. Oh, that's nice. And that's it. So now this guy's realizing, wow, somebody's going to listen to me about what I do for a living. Then they start volunteering information to you. And that's what I wanted him to do. I wanted him to relax. I wanted him to trust me. And he started talking because nobody else ever did that before to him, or something totally new. And when I was done, then I would talk to the wife. And no matter, it didn't matter if she was, this is back in the 80s, so there's a lot more housewives than there are today. But if she was a housewife, I said, I'd rather have your husband's job. And I meant that too, because I know I couldn't stay home every day and put up with 2 or 3 or 4 little kids around the house. I know that. So I wasn't playing it. I was being totally honest. I said, I think that job was worth more money than anybody. And it's like, she was appreciative that I would take the time to find out, why she chose to do this and all that. And now they start to believe me. They start to buy me. And that was just like when you're at a table playing cards. There's no difference. You might not be using the words, but you're just thinking and you're watching. You're thinking and you're watching. And you're seeing how people react. So I could tell, right after that warm-up, I knew if these people were shutting me down or if they were still staying open. And it really helps you go through this when you know that they're buying who you are. I could care less. They're going to either like the program or they're not. My job is to, obviously, is to sell it, but they have to buy me first. And if they're buying me, and they think this is a good deal, they're going to buy this. And the other thing that's going to stop them is if they absolutely have no money. And otherwise, they should be buying it. That's putting pieces of the puzzle together. And that's what he's talking about here. That book is just not about poker, because I love how he goes through that, because he talks about winning hands, and he talks about losing hands, and he's talking about strategy of betting. That's all about life. It's all about real life situations. And if you put those pieces together, it's about awareness. It's about who you're sitting with, or who you're talking to, or who you're competing against. And we compete against the world every day. So it's putting all those pieces of the puzzle. It's us thinking. It's us using integrations. You better be integrated if you're playing poker for money. Because you can't win on just luck. And how many times can it, but if you're really integrated, you can have the worst hand in the world, and you can bluff people because you're acting the same way all the time. When you're Neotech and you're playing poker, they will never be able to tell if you're a winning hand or not. Because you're consistent. You're not giving away anything. You have the edge over these people. Just like I said for years since I've been here. You know Neotech and Neotech, you have the edge over everybody. Everybody. Nobody has an edge over you anymore. Because you're using everything you have here, and it's all different tools, and those tools are used for you to be competitive with anyone. You can outsmart anyone, you can out-debate them, you can out-think them, whatever it is, because you have Neotech and Neothink. All you got to do is put the pieces together, and that's what this is going to be doing for us for probably the next couple of weeks. And just so that you know now that this page on here, page 329 I'm looking at in the Prime Discovery, will probably go with page 410 in the Prime Cure or something. They all connect somehow. And the more that you realize those connections, you'll have 2 or 3 books at it. I mean, sometimes when I put one of these calls together, and Steve uses it all the time too. And I know that Juanita does. We have books all over the place.
Yes, you should see my place right now.
Yeah.